shoe shine boy with a gin shop slag. She raised him up, she called him son. She canonized the ground and he walked upon. Great to see her. Cigarettes, ice cream, figurines on them. Great to see her. In the door, in the floor, in the paper bag. There's a shoe shine boy with a gin shop slag. She raised him up, she called him son. She canonized the ground that he walked upon. Great to see her. Cigarettes, ice cream, figurines on them. Great to see her. In the door, in the floor, in the paper bag. There's a shoe shine boy with a gin shop slag. She raised him up, she called him son. She canonized the ground that he walked upon. Great to see her. Cigarettes, ice cream, figurines on them. Great to see her. In the door, in the floor, in the paper bag.
It's one thing you come away convinced after visiting places like this in the more remote areas of Vietnam that these people may not have a background in representative government, but they want it. And they want it bad enough to take risks in order to...
Because we have
just one question, maybe just one.
Yes, we have a chance, sir.
Yeah, all right.
You've been briefed in the last 24 hours by General Westmoreland, by Ambassador Lodge. You've met with Premier Key. Have you learned anything that makes you at all more optimistic about Vietnam?
Let me make it clear that I've never been pessimistic about Vietnam in the long run. It is inevitable that the aggressors will lose and that Vietnam will be an independent country. The only question that I have raised is with regard to over-optimism insofar as the time is concerned. And nothing that I've heard in the last days on this trip has led me to any other conclusion than that the enemy, while he has taken a very, very bad beating in many individual battles, is still tough, strong, with a very strong capability, and that neither a military decision is in sight in the foreseeable future, and that no dramatic end of the war at the diplomatic table is also predictable at this point. That doesn't mean that we are not going to have one or the other at some future time, but I would certainly caution against being overly optimistic.
Well, it's a lot.
Phạm Văn Mão, Bác Cương, Lê Văn Triều, Văn Diêu, Huỳnh Văn Thạnh, Bùi Xuân Hình, Lê.
Tổ chức ra một cái thành phần phối hợp, một cái ủy ban phối hợp nỗ lực vào
And from that we have organized 5 small committees.
Tiểu ban an ninh,
The Security Committee,
tiểu ban vận động,
the Propaganda Committee,
huấn luyện,
the Training Committee,
thanh tra
the Inspection Committee.
và
On the basis of each program, each district within the program.
His rivals for the Republican nomination.
Well, very few people left here so late. Surely did a briefing before I came.
Too bad you couldn't get it on time.
Yes, time for the voting. Yes. Well, we hoped to. We were scheduled, but they had me moving by helicopter to two different brigades, and it just took more time than we figured.
What did you think of the turnout?
The voting turnout. Oh, the voting turnout is remarkable, particularly in view of the not just the newness of the voting process and procedure, but particularly in view of the, I understand, the terrorism, the attempt to persuade people not to vote. Of course, this story has been told before, but you have to be on the scene to realize it. And there's been a substantial step up in terrorism, particularly in some of the northern provinces, and directed specifically at the whole program of revolutionary development, and also at the voting procedure. Apparently is having no effect.
In terms of the politics that Richard Nixon is accustomed to, this is strictly Bush League stuff, but I also have a feeling that in the months ahead, we're going to be hearing quite a lot about this particular little village election in some of Richard Nixon's speeches to come. This is Ted Koppel, ABC, Ban Moi Tuot, South Vietnam.